Attention staff and students, this is a lockdown. There is a man with a weapon in the main hallway. I repeat,
We're
there
gonna
is a man with a weapon in the main
I don't know. I've been face down in a ditch for 2 hours. I was trying to save your buddy, okay? I don't think there's much left I have to prove. Okay,
Well,
if you could come
I
down,
don't-
that'd be nice. Okay, I don't know where this thing is or when it's gonna.
I poisoned my victims, made them into soaps and cookies, and distributed them in the neighborhood. I am Leonida Cianciulli, better known as the soap maker of Correggio. I was born in Montella, Italy, on November 14, 1893. At the age of 21, I married Raphael Pansardi, with whom I had 4 children. But when my unemployed husband became an alcoholic over the years, I left him. However, this was not to be my only stroke of fate. When my favorite child and eldest son Giuseppe was called up for military service, I could no longer find peace out of fear for his life. I developed a secret and creepy plan that involved making human sacrifices to protect my son from any evil that lay ahead during the war. Divination and tarot cards were the perfect way to attract future victims. I decided to act and invited friends from the neighborhood over for tea and cake. My first victim was my friend Faustina Seti. When she came over one day, I offered her a glass of wine. In this glass, I had previously dissolved sleeping pills. When Faustina fell asleep, I took an axe and cut her body into 9 pieces. I threw the pieces into a cauldron, added 7 kilograms of sodium hydroxide, and stirred until it was a dark, thick mass. From this I made a soap, which I later sold in my small store. With the victim's blood, I waited until it had coagulated and put it in the oven to dry. Then I mixed it with flour, sugar, chocolate, milk, and eggs. Lots of crispy cookies were baked from it, which I distributed to the next guests and visitors. I myself and my children also ate from them. In the same way, I later killed my 2 other friends before processing their bodies. Again, I distributed the bars of soap and cookies as gifts to neighbors and acquaintances. But when the sister of my last victim became concerned about her sister's whereabouts, she contacted the police. Since she was last seen in front of my house, the police eventually searched the house where they found the jewelry of the victim. I was arrested and, after confessing, sentenced to 30 years in prison followed by 3 years in a care facility for the mentally disabled. Of this sentence, I served only 24 years. Because on October 15, 1970, at the age of 77, I died in Pozzuoli prison after suffering a stroke. Some of the objects, such as the axe and the cauldron that served as murder weapons and instruments, can still be seen today in the Criminal Museum in Rome.
Next video comes from a bus driver in Singapore who had no idea that his day would start off with a very spooky encounter. It's 7 in the morning somewhere in Singapore when the driver of a large double-decker bus checks the security cameras of both decks inside the vehicle. On his dashboard, we can see live footage of what looks to be an empty bus, but upon looking closely, something pretty unnerving is seen on camera. Take a look.
Pagi dah buat seram ah. Kau tengok ni ya. Okey, kat atas ni ada orang kan. Kiwak betul lah. Pagi-pagi dah buat seram ah. Habis boleh ada orang kat atas kan. Sial kan, tak ada orang kan. Berderau darah aku lah. Celaka betul lah. Aku puas jeritkan dia suruh turun tadi kat dekat tempat turun orang. Nak bawa lagi sini. Pokemon betul lah.
As if seeing someone in what is supposed to be an empty bus wasn't creepy enough, the bus driver checks around and finds no one inside. It appears that whoever, or whatever was seen on camera, had simply vanished. If no one had been inside the bus, Then who or what was this?
Morbid Facts, Part 38. Joe DiMaggio was so devastated when Marilyn Monroe died that he brought flowers to her grave 3 times a week for more than 20 years. He never remarried, and his last words were, "Now I'll finally get to see Marilyn." The ancient Aztecs built swords out of obsidian, which is said to be 30 times sharper than surgical steel. These swords were apparently sharp enough to decapitate not only a human with one strike, but also a horse. In 1856, a woman died just hours after giving birth to a Greek monk named Mihailo Tolotos. The very next day, the baby was taken to a monastery on top of Mount Athos. He then spent his entire 82-year life completely isolated from women, making him the only known man in history to have lived and died without ever seeing a female. Tigers are some of the most vengeful animals on the planet and will take revenge on anyone who has wronged them. In 1997, a Russian poacher shot a Siberian tiger and left him for dead before stealing part of his meal. The tiger later found the poacher's cabin and waited 12 hours for him to arrive before tearing him to shreds.
I can't wait until summer gets here so we can go outside and play.
I miss Mimi.
I miss you too. I miss you too. What? What? Who's coming?
He's coming.
Who? You see somebody back there?
Him.
Who?
Him.
Him?
Yeah.
Where's he at? Is he in our house?
Yeah.
Where? Show me. Where's he at? He's right in front of you?
Yep.
Who is it?
A guy.
Who's there, mister? What are you doing in our... Where's he at? In the dining room?
Yep.
Show me him. Go show me him. Give me your hand. Take me to him.
This him.
Take me to him. Show me.
This him.
Wait, let me... Show me. Is he right here?
Yep.
He's in our dining room?
Yeah.
What are you doing in our dining room, mister? What does he look like?
I bug.
He's got bug eyes?
Yeah.
What are you doing in our living room, mister? Get. You go back home. You go back wherever you came from. What's he doing? Come on, you're creeping me out. We're going upstairs. Come on. You're scaring me. We're going upstairs. Yeah, you're scaring me. We're going upstairs. You are...
This is the It Escape Room in Las Vegas. If you're looking for something spooky to try, this is definitely the place to be. There is no filming there, unfortunately, so I wasn't able to get any footage for you guys. Comparing this one to the Saw Escape Room, this one is way more scarier. They are partnered with Warner Brothers, so each room is super realistic, and I was so scared going through each one. They've only been open for 2 months, and they did let us know that they are opening It Chapter 2 Escape Room in the next 2 months, so definitely check it out.
The worst ways people have died, part 2. First off, this one's so awful you'd think it was a hoax. A mom would repeatedly push her kid on a swing for 2 days straight until he eventually passed away. It was later revealed that she was extremely mentally ill and was sent to a mental institution. Next, a man in his late 30s from the Philippines decided to tackle his fear by finally going on a roller coaster with his family. But once the ride started moving, he began freaking out and began squirming and kicking in his seat. And when the ride flipped, he slipped right out and met his end. Finally, what started as an amazing day eventually took a turn for the worse. While still celebrating from her recent engagement, this woman stumbled and fell off a cliff that was as tall as a 6-story building, falling to her death.
Oh, Archivist, what have you done now? It's almost sad to see you like this. Almost. I've come to a decision, Archivist. I'm going to kill you. It's earlier than I had hoped, but that's life, I suppose. Your life. Before I do, however, I want you to understand, even if it does go against my nature, ask your questions. What? Ask me.
drugs, alcohol.